Okay, today we speak about suspension. The stroke length is full 27 centimeters at the axle. Small intro. I'm IT engineer. I grew up in a big city in Ukraine, escaped from the war and ended up in the middle of the forest in Sweden. I developed the optimal survival car that will take to safety place out of the most difficult situations. With engine swap to BMW diesel engine, axle swap to bottle axle, 40 inches tires. Here you can see the suspension fully sprung. Thanks to the installation of the angle of the shock absorber, the stroke length is a full 27 centimeters at the axle. Considering that the shock absorber stroke is only 21 centimeters. The suspension is sprung. It works with the impact rubber. There is about 35 mm left on the shock absorber when the axle is completely on the impact rubber. Thanks to the position of the shock absorber, the axle can move it approximately 4 centimeters more before the shock absorber bottoms out. Here, full flex is tested on the rear axle. The impact rubber is pressed together with the tension band to see that everything moves unimpeded and does not break anywhere, and that the impact rubber hits the axle correctly. I have cut a part of shock absorber to the upper shock absorber bracket, as it had good and reasonably strong material. I weld this at the top of the frame with the relief support parts that go down to the sides of the frame to give the frame relief and should not be stressed, only on the upper side. The lower shock absorber attachment in the axle is made of 13 mm strong flat iron that is bent, machined and welded directly into the axle to provide a strong attachment. As you can see, there is also support that forms a triangle at the axle attachment to counteract stress loads in the axle tube, which is certainly 6 mm thickness. Here you can see the panhard strut that holds the axle sideways. It is important that the fastenings are strong and that the panhard strut also sits horizontally. When the car is finished and is standing on the wheels, this is to counteract bump steering. The support arm should sit horizontally. It is important during start and stop. I moved brackets up to 20 centimeters to be close to 100 inches wheelbase as much as possible. The location of the springs is chosen to be on the inside of the frame, in the back. This makes the suspension more flexible. I prefer to have the springs far out on the front axle to make the car stable on one hand. The shock absorbers are placed far out in the axle to give the car stability. Follow me in building the optimal bug-out car that can save your life.